Hello, good morning, and welcome to UkraineDating.tv, the world's first and only by donation video platform that is designed for Western men to meet and win the hearts of Ukrainian women. So today's topic is two types of Ukrainian women that are critical for Western men to understand. I think it's not just Ukrainian women, it's just most women, but let's go.
Raised to be just entitled, like they're owed something for just showing up. I showed up, I'm owed something. I showed up on this date, you owe me a meal. You owe me entertainment. You owe me all this stuff. And what they do is they try to mitigate the man. They try to neuter him. They try to keep him controlled. And they put ice on the wings. And every time that guy tries to go and do some level up, you're gone too much. Well, it's met with some sort of criticism and some sort of frustration. And so you got these two different things. So the first thing as a man you got to understand is you got to, if you're not already in a relationship, you got to decide whether you're dealing with a princess. And if you're dealing with a princess, she's going to turn into a tyrant when you get married. She's going to be a tyrant. Or are you dealing with a pioneer woman, a girl that's ready to take the hits with you? She's ready to go to war for you. She's going to freaking fight with you. She's going to put you back together. I had two marriages to compare this to. The first marriage was ice on my wings. The marriage I have now is a pioneer woman. That girl, man, she's the best person I know. I'm just going to say it like that. This ain't pandering. This ain't trying to get her to listen to this so I get laid later. I'm just going to call it like it is.
Twice if you're suffering.
I need help. Save me. Nobody talk to me about this. There wasn't a grown-ass man that said, dude, this is what you need to look for. You need to be careful. There's two types of women out there. You're looking for the pioneer women, and they are a dying breed. And I'll tell you, that's why a lot of dudes are leaving and going to other countries right now to try and find those type of traditional women. Because the women in the States right now are being raised without accountability. They're being raised like they're princesses, and they're being conditioned to be entitled for doing nothing. Just by existing, they're owed something.
Well, there you have it, guys. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's a princess. Yeah, and pioneer women. Princess. I see a lot of princesses here. Well, maybe not so much in Canada. Like I said, I watch a lot of these modern dating videos. Not for entertainment, because it's not really entertaining. It's more like aggravating to me. um, but yeah, Western women they act like princesses, yet not that well educated as princesses, because back in the day princesses all they did was getting educated, doing ballet, doing this, doing that, so but yeah, my point being that a lot of women in the West, they don't want to work with the guy, they don't want to build him up. They just want to come when he's already the king, right? And want to act like a princess, but they don't want to go through hard times and support him when he has nothing, and work together and achieve things, build an empire. And they just want to come when everything is ready, marry that king, prince, whatever, and then literally leave and within a few years and take half of his kingdom, which I know firsthand quite a few stories that way, that woman came and married a guy. He had his own construction company. Hi, Santos. How are you? Anyway, and yeah, so got married, had his baby, and she never even really loved him to begin with. She saw the opportunity. He was kind of I want to say simp. So, and she was beautiful. Yeah, she took advantage of him, got married to him. I think it was 2 years after the marriage, she divorced him. Yeah, he was almost forced to sell his construction company, but then one of his good friends um, actually became a sponsor because he had to give her half stuff. It was just brutal. And yeah, so there, yeah, like I said, like he said, two different types of women that are willing to go through hell with you, support you, be there with you no matter what, whether you have the money or you don't have the money. Well, that's what I always say, you guys. It's not that hard to spot, the gold digger. Like day one, you can spot them. You say, "Yeah, I'm not taking you to the fancy restaurant. We just go. Let's go to coffee shop." I don't see anything bad with going to a coffee shop. And the thing about Ukrainian women, well, we love coffee. We love the good coffee, though. Don't bring us to McDonald's or Tim Hortons, so because I live in Canada. My advice to you, if you guys live in Canada, if you score a Ukrainian woman, don't no find a nice either Ukrainian cafe or even Eastern European, anything that has good coffee, because it's still not even that expensive. To be honest with you, that would be the same price as Starbucks. I mean, even Starbucks will do. Like me personally, I like my own coffee at home, which I make every day. Well, not every day, I guess. I don't drink coffee every day, but when I need it, I guess. All Ukrainian people, women love tea. So, simple things, like I said, Ukrainian women, we are willing to work with you. Like we're willing to support you, believe in your dreams, unless it's something that's definitely not gonna ever work out. We'll give you a reality check. Don't waste your time. Okay, but maybe apply your knowledge or your resources into something else, But other than that, like for example, my man, he makes his own music. He just started. It's a hobby, but I believe in him, and I know he's gonna make it big one day. Even though sometimes he doesn't think so, but I do, and I support him. So I even try and help him with some stuff. I mean, I really don't know anything about making music, but I was pressing buttons myself to see what it sounds like. But every time he makes a tune, I listen to it and I give him honest criticism, whether it's good or not, maybe tweak this, tweak that. But it's like in a very, very beginning stage. So, um, but any other woman be like, okay, well, at your age, like, why are you wasting your time? But not me, because I know he loves it and I want to support him and I'm going to. So, um, but like I said, a lot of women I see in these videos that I watch, talking about, oh, you can't take me to Red Lobster, you can't take me here, you can't take me there, like it's too cheap, it's a chain restaurant. And I notice it's always the broke ones that want the princess treatment. Because if a woman she's a high quality woman, whether she's mentally high quality, you know, she will be okay with going somewhere, just because the first date is you're getting to know each other. It's not even just the first date. The first few dates, I think like a fancy restaurant that requires a couple of bills, like 200 bucks or something like this, it should be a special occasion, after like a year of dating or something. You don't, unless you have money to burn. But then again, you guys, when you lead with the money, that's your mistake. Because, well, number one, you'll see the gold digger, she's gonna show her true colors. All she cares about is money. If you say to her, no, I'm not taking you to a fancy restaurant, she will put up a fuss over it. And that should be a red flag enough for you guys. Why I keep telling to men, here in the West, society has been just so twisted at this point, where it's like, why do men have the need to impress the woman? Why don't they think that in reality, it's not just he has to impress her, she has to impress him as well? Like this guy said in the video, like, what? I just get stuff because I just showed up. I slap some makeup on, put an outfit on, and then okay, now you owe me. And especially high quality men don't do this kind of stuff. They know their worth. They're not gonna be putting up with BS from women, whether she's good looking or whatever she's accomplished. They just kind of like, okay, next. I'm not even gonna waste my time. Um, but I know some men are pretty desperate and maybe too lonely, so they'll just be, oh my God, she's way out of my league. So I gotta do everything in my power to keep her. You know what? You can't keep a woman if she doesn't care about you. If she's not in love with you, you can't keep her. No matter how much money you spend on her, if she doesn't have those feelings for you, genuine care and love, and she's not your woman, it's just your turn. Believe me. Okay, so you can't buy love, you can't buy happiness. Happiness, like I said, comes from within. If she's not happy with her own life, in her own skin, don't matter what you do. It does not matter what you do. She's always going to be unhappy unless she goes to see a therapist or whatever it is that she needs to do to get her mind straight. You can't. There's nothing you can do. So, and like I was mentioning before, the woman should think about how to impress you, especially, like I said, especially if you're a high quality man, if you have your shit together, if you got a good career, you got your own house, you have good circle of friends and business partners or whatever it is. You lead a good life, you're healthy, you're intelligent. You don't have to make money to be a high quality man, right? So the woman should be thinking about how to impress you because you already have everything going on for you. So you have your pick from women. So looks alone, it's not enough. It's not. In most cases, it's not even worth it. I know some women, they're good looking, but ugh, if I was a dude, I would not even take a dump with them on the same field, to be honest with you, because they're horrible. They're just nightmares to deal with. But in reality, though, it's kind of sad. But men just so blinded sometimes by the looks. They're like, well, I'm gonna put up with anything comes like, from her because she's good looking, and that's where you guys make the mistake. Some guys, they're like, oh, look, all my buddies are gonna see me with this knockout, blah blah blah. But then they go home and she yells and screams and breaks stuff and just abusive, because abuse comes in every shape and form and ages. It can come from your parents, it could come from your spouse, it could even come from your child, for crying out loud. So abuse is abuse, and men, some, not all, but some men just, they decide they put up with this, because she's good looking. But is it really worth it? And I mentioned before, to me, I don't care how much the man, how much money he makes, or how good looking he is, or how great in the bedroom he is. If he's a piece of garbage, if he causes me stress, um, I don't want that person in my life. No, whether it's, well, my man is good, but my point being is that your happiness, peace of mind should be the most important thing than anything else. So picking your spouse has to be the most important thing you do in life. Is because you can pick wrong and then you are stuck, at least for a while. I'm doing okay. Okay, but a bit concerned about my job security due to tariff imposed by President Trump. Where are you from, Santos, again? Because I'm guessing you're in Europe. I'm in Canada, so I think we got what, 10%. Yeah, so one man's messing up the whole entire world. Yeah, many people around the world are now panicking. Yeah, I hear you. Believe me, I'm panicking too. Men save money by being single, and women save money by being in relationships. That's true. That is so true. The richest woman in the world made money by divorcing the richest man. Yes, I agree with you. Or being born into it, like a daughter of some some rich man. Um, Not many. Well, maybe Oprah. I say she made her own billions, but she's doing some shady stuff. Yeah, wouldn't want to go there. But yeah, she's just shady. I'll tell her. Um, Many, if not most, ladies want a well-off man. Listen, I'm not listen, Santos and World Traveler. I do not disagree. I do not disagree that most women, they like hypogamy, right? So they want a guy. Listen, they would prefer a guy who makes, of course, more money, because that means better life, better options. If you decide to have a family, kids can go in a better school, education guaranteed. You don't have to, like, depends on where you live, you probably have to pay for health insurance, this, that, it's like bills. And nowadays it's not, obviously not cheap. It's not cheap to even be in a relationship, to be honest with you, let alone having a freaking family. So yeah, and if the woman wants to stay home with kids, so of course you want some. And if they want, let's say they decide, they sit down and as a couple they decide, well, we want 3 kids. So you're right, you need to be able to make a substantial amount of money to be able to afford a family of 5, right? And then if you want to eat healthy, which everybody should, but eating healthy, it's not as expensive as people think if you cook at home. I personally make everything from scratch, most of it. Maybe don't bake bread, but I make like flatbread and stuff, but I haven't baked bread yet. But if you make, like, let's say you have a wife that stays home, she cooks from scratch, she cleans, you can save a lot of money on, like, on eating, and you can still have great meals at home, and you don't need to hire a babysitter, but that's a very traditional wife, right? Most wives these days, and especially in the West, they really don't want to do anything. They don't want to clean, they don't want to cook, they need a nanny, they need a maid. All they want to do is get their nails and hair done, and that's pretty much it. They really don't want to contribute um, to the household. So, but if you do have a nice, good wife that wants to stay home and she does everything, you will save a lot of money. Believe me. I know that for a fact because I live that life. So, this coffee is so good. Anyway, let's see what else. Yeah, okay. I am living in Europe. Yeah, I figured. I figured. So, yeah, I know Trump slapped everybody. Hold on a second. Sorry, you guys. Okay. If the situation continues like this for a while, then so many people around the world, including me, will get laid off. Believe me that you know how many people are. They already closed a few. What in Ontario, they're closing down car, not car dealerships, but car factories where they make cars. So yeah, I guess one crazy person, you know, can mess up this world. Anyway, I really don't want to get into politics because I can talk about politics forever, but I'd rather not because this is not a political podcast. I should probably start my own, just talking about politics and everyday life. You know, blow off some steam, let people blow off them steam. But back to the topic here. So, yeah, again, like the guy mentioned in the video, that the princess, she becomes a tyrant. Like I said, yeah, the woman can either make you or break you. And I told you, I've seen in my 43 years women completely destroying their men. They come into everything is ready, and yeah, live together for a little bit, pop out some babies, and then just boom, and get up and leave. Oh, he spends too much time at work. And also how he was mentioning that if the man starts working on himself and the woman realizes, like, if she's just the menace to society, if she's a narcissist, and um, she only cares about herself, and she sees the man working on himself or working on his business and trying to better himself, she's just gonna complain, oh, you spend too much time at work. I know of quite a few divorces where the woman wanted more money, so the man started expanding his business, which means he has to spend more time at work. And she started bringing money home, but then he wasn't home as much because he had to work extra hard to bring that money. And she ended up cheating on him because she claimed, oh, he's never home, he's never home. I feel lonely. Well, bitch, you're the one who wanted the money, and now you're still like you knew the consequences. You can't just pull money out of I don't know, magic hat. He's not a magician. He has to work for it. And then she ended up cheating. She ended up leaving him for this other guy. She ended up taking half. So um, I don't know. Like in the West, like I said, I grew up in Ukraine, so this is really even though I've been here more than half of, well, more than 18 years, I guess. 'Cause I lived in Ukraine for 18 years, and I've been here for what, 25, almost 26, something like that. Anyway, and um, it's I cannot get used to this because Ukrainian marriages and like how the mindset of Ukrainian women and men is completely different from what the mindset is here. It's like this feminist movement is destroying marriages. Guys, that's why guys want to go. They're called passport bros these days. They just go overseas because it's the women just have become so entitled. They are complaining about, like you need to first date. I've seen videos where a woman demands the guy to pay for her hair and nails because she's coming to meet him. What? What? I, honey, nobody's responsible for your upkeep. And I know for a fact that men prefer women without makeup. A little bit of makeup, yes, okay, that's fine. But when she transforms herself from like a 2 into a 10, and all you see is just you can see her with makeup on all the time, and you don't really even know what she looks like. I heard of this story, I can't remember which country it was. I believe it's somewhere in Africa. Anyway, and this guy married this woman, and he's never seen her. I guess it was like a very cultural Muslim whatever wedding, and he's never seen her without makeup. And he's only seen her with makeup on, and because they were very um, religious, they didn't even do anything, so they got married before doing any stuff. So he's never seen her naked or without a hijab. She's seen her with her face, but lots of makeup on. And then so I guess the night of the whatever hanky panky, and I guess she took a shower and he saw her without makeup, and it literally traumatized the guy because she looked nothing like. I've seen pictures of her with makeup on. She looks solid 8, and without, and she's barely a freaking 2. Like she's just awful looking, and he ended up divorcing her and not like got an annulment, and then um actually sued her for for traumatizing him. And I'm like, yeah, I see that, and I've seen videos where women say, well, if the man is asking to see you without makeup, that is actually here in the West, they say he's broke, gives broke vibes because he cannot afford your makeup, upkeep, and all this stuff, maintenance. And I'm thinking, well, why is this the man's responsibility to you for your upkeep? And let me tell you, I don't, like I said, I told you this before, I don't like makeup, but I do have some. I bought it especially for doing podcasts because I had some pimples, so I did have to cover them at one point. And and it's not cheap. I mean, I have foundation that's like $80. Like what? $80? You know how much groceries I could have gotten for $80? Holy, that would be good enough for the whole week dinners for two. And I mean, like eating like kings and king and the queen. Believe me. So I don't know. I always measure my mindset is like every time I spend money on clothes or whatever it is, like, um, I'm thinking, oh crap, how much groceries I could have bought. I don't know, but just my mentality, Ukrainian mentality, how a lot of Ukrainian women think that the engagement rings, again, another propaganda. It's only in the West here. I mentioned that before. In Ukraine, we don't even have this tradition. Yeah, some we have some like promise ring, but not an engagement promise. You'll be mine, and that's it. But not like engaged. No, and it's something very simple, something very easy, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing too expensive. Like my wild guess is like here maybe couple of $100. Just it's what's behind the ring. It's not how much it costs. It's the idea of, you promise me to be mine and I promise you to be mine. That's it. To be yours. Well, there you go. Anyway, let's see. To do Europe. Okay, situation. Okay. Mm, Sorry for making additional comments out of the context. I don't be sorry. It's okay. I don't mind chatting about stuff. Okay, what the heck? Hold on a second. Good morning, Pastor King. Here late, that's fine. Don't worry. I'm here till 11 my time, so we still have 32 minutes. Okay. Modern women, especially modern Western women, are for pump and dump by players and for simps to come later to play clean up a man. Man, I'll pass on that horrible. You're right. That's funny because in the West here, they mate these modern women mate with a handsome broke player that has like five baby mamas and wants nothing to do with her or the child, but then they end up marrying the guy that was pursuing them for so long, and they just said no, 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 and then finally realized, well, this guy just knocked me up. I'm here about to pop the baby out or get pregnant, and knowingly they know they're pregnant from another dude, and then they get. I've knows of these kind of situations where a woman knew that she was pregnant from the pretty boy, the player. She kept the baby and realized he wanted nothing to do with her. She was only pregnant like a month. And she said yes to a guy, the simp, that was been asking her out for many years, and she kept him on the back burner and stuff for just in case, and that in case came. And then she said, oh yeah, she slept with him and was like, okay, that's your baby. And the guy went on to like taking care of a child for many years, only to find out that's not his child. So, yeah, here is it's. I don't blame you guys here in the West. It's kind of scary to date. The stuff that women get away with. And still, the entitlement. It was just the other day. I commented something on YouTube. Again, was watching this modern dating, and this one lady, she was mentioning that she has four sons. This white lady from somewhere US, and she was saying she's older lady. I don't know, but grandma looking lady, and she was saying that she heard about this trend about passport bros. They go overseas to bring wives, to the US, well, to where they're from. And she said that her oldest son married to a Spanish lady, and was saying that she's so wonderful. She's very elegant. She takes care of herself. She's in great shape. She's sweet. She's supportive. She's not entitled. And she's appreciative of everything that he does for her. So now the granny said, I'm going to encourage my other three sons to go, abroad and then bring the wife from elsewhere. And you know what? If I had a son here in the West, yeah, I would definitely find him a Ukrainian woman. There's no ifs or buts about it. There's only would be just a good Ukrainian girl. Um, well, I guess wouldn't force it on him, but I would definitely push him into that direction, right? But again, no kids, don't have to worry about that. So, but yeah, it's I kind of always wondered why women here are so entitled. Like it's completely different from what I remember growing up, and it hasn't changed. It doesn't change till now because I talked to my best friend. She has a daughter who's 18, about to be 19, and she's a very good looking girl. Like she looks like a model. Um, she could be a model. She's very good looking and tall too. She's taller than I am. I'm thinking. I remember her when I went back to Ukraine in 2016. She was only 12 years old, little girl. But anyway, and same thing. Like what her mom tells her. Same thing my grandma told me when I was growing up. She said, if the man is taking you to a fancy restaurant, um, on the first date, be ready to put out, but don't go. Like, don't go because why a man should be dropping a lot of money and not expecting anything in return. But this is how our mentality is. That's why we don't expect being pampered on the first date. We do like to be pampered from time to time, but that's further into relationship, not just because we just met. I'm pretty and you have money, so spend it on me. That's not how it works, because no matter what, people have to work hard for it, or if not hard, then very smart for money, to be able to make a lot of money. So, um, yeah, so we do understand that why should a man just go and drop $200 on dinner on the first date? That just doesn't make any sense. Like, so my point. And then here in, especially in US, I don't know about here, because Canada, even though we are considered to be brothers, whatever, but because of here's most of the population were immigrants, right? So basically, we bring our own mentality here. So, and just because of so many immigrants coming in every freaking day, you know, there's not much of like a Canadian culture here, I guess. Everybody's just nice. That's all I can tell you. you know. Do. Okay, let's see. What to do more? Oh yeah, okay. Let's see. Sorry for this may sound uncomfortable. Is it okay to ask Ukrainian lady, generally speaking, if getting STD tested before getting into relationship? I don't see any problems with asking about it. Why? I mean, better be safe than sorry. I mean, my suggestion to everyone, um, that before you get even serious, obviously use protection not to have get pregnant too soon. And I just my suggestion to do it. And once you start getting serious, you go both get checked, and there you go from there. I don't think caring about your health, if that makes them uncomfortable, okay, why should it make them uncomfortable? It's just common sense, knowing these days, there's STDs happening everywhere. So I mean, it only makes sense. So I mean, for example, I found out my neighbor next door, back home in Ukraine, he had HIV, but he was shooting up, right? So junkie. But yeah, you never know. So I mean, more go for it to do, yeah, to get, yeah, okay. I think your incident, married makeup drama you referred to actually happened in China, or maybe China. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but yes, this really happened though. I wasn't sure where it happened, because I told you I watch this modern dating stuff, just to get acquainted, because I honestly I don't have any social media, so I really not don't really get involved into outside world, other than I just care about what's happening in my life, concentrating on bettering myself every day, and just living happy and being kind. These are my mottos. So anyway, let's see. Facts: engagement rings in the West is fairly recent. It didn't start until after World War II. Diamond dealers wanted to increase commercial diamond sales, so they made ad campaigns to sell diamonds. I know diamonds is the girl's best friend, something like this. And the fact that it's the jewelers. We all know who owns all the jewelry. They basically own, like, what, 90% of diamonds, and they control the price. So diamonds really not even that, they're not worth the money that um they're being sold for. Not even close. And even like fake diamonds, I find it better. To me, it's just a rock. It looks like glass. What I don't even understand this hoopla about the jewelry stuff. From, like I mentioned before, I don't care for jewelry. I have my nose stud, which is silver with some kind of gem, I don't even know. And that's it. Like, I don't wear earrings. And honestly, you find, Ukrainian women, we don't really care about jewelry that much. Yeah, of course there are odd, women that they like jewelry, but the most they wear, like a necklace, a couple of rings, it's like the wedding band, couple of rings. My grandma, she had some nice jewelry, but it's not an everyday thing. It's not like we don't wear it all the time. I do have a couple of, well, maybe more than a couple of necklaces, but it's, I don't know, me personally, I don't like stuff dangling around, bleh, useless. Okay. And the way, Ukrainian women, our mindset is like, why would you want to waste, okay, a decent ring that most guys, they will spend like 1,000, maybe even $2,000 on an engagement ring. That's like, 7 days in Mexico for two, everything paid for. Like, you don't have to spend any more money. It's just everything inclusive. Now, even for less than that. So I would rather have that experience of me going to Mexico, sitting on the beach, and relaxing, eating some fresh fruit, whatnot, going swimming with the dolphins, stuff like that. It's the experience. Who cares about these diamonds? Like, where you gonna take them to them? Like, when you die, take them to the next realm? chances of you going there, if you're concentrating on jewelry here, you're not passing on to the next realm. So you're gonna stay here, you're gonna be born, and you never know where you're gonna be born again. You might be born somewhere in India, like in slums. Like, you have no control of your next life. you know that's why I keep telling people, live a good life, be kind, be generous, be sweet, help others, and have a clear conscience, and you'll pass on to the next realm. Or there's no hell, you're just gonna keep being reborn here. If you all you care about is material things, you're never gonna be happy. You're always gonna be miserable, because there's always the next season of clothing, blah blah blah. Who cares? Like, who cares? I don't know. I personally watched a few of these runway shows, and I was thinking, what the hell is this? What is this? Why? Who wears this? I don't know. To me, if it looks good on me and it doesn't break the bank, I'm gonna get it. And of course, if I need it, I always ask myself that question: do I need it before I buy it? Because if I don't need it, no. If it's cute, and if it's cheap, you know, I'll get it. Yeah, sure, why not? But other than that, you know, Ukrainian women, we have different priorities, because we know what it's like to live in the country where you well, it's gotten better. Um, but when I was there, it was, well, I was just right, basically not that long, but 8 years after USSR breaking up, and it was just so much crime going on. It was brutal. It was horrible. Honestly, it was super horrible, and people were poor. Well, people were poor in during communism. Everybody was equally poor, but it's getting better right now. Um, And yeah, I talked to my friend, and she's like, just the same mindset. We don't need it, and we're not gonna buy it. I saw her; she's wearing just a wedding band, even though they both make decent money, her and her husband, but they prefer to travel instead of buying anything too fancy. They live in two like two-bedroom apartment. And two-bedroom in Ukraine, it's like literally just one bedroom, actually, because they count the living room as the bedroom too. So, yeah. And we learn to live within our needs. If we can't afford stuff, we don't go like. w- I we didn't have credit cards back then. I'm sure nowadays they have credit cards at this point, but um you can't, yeah. So if you don't have the money, you don't buy it, right? Here in the US, a lot of people go into such big debt, like even after, like, just being in debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm thinking, you're 25 years old, how did that happen? Like, you're just starting off your life and you're already like $200,000 in debt. uh, I mean, unless you're going to school to become a lawyer, and I don't know. I just that's that's what I like about. I'm really happy that I grew up there, that I know the value of a dollar, and I know not to be just wasting money because, oh, I like this and I like that. No, most of the things I don't even like. I am not that easy to please. Well, especially when it comes to food, I'm the best cook there is. So, no. Anyway, yep, that's known as paternity fraud. That's why all men should get DNA testing before a baby born for any child stated to be his, regardless of marital status. I agree with you. I agree with you. I know that. And then once you sign that document, you're screwed. You're screwed until the kid is 18. I've heard of so many cases where man wasn't even present, but she just signed his name. And he's like, well, that's not my signature. And the judge is like, but that's your name. It was like, yeah, but I didn't sign it. And it's like, well, you still have to pay for the baby. What the hell? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I had a son, I'd probably get him like a vasectomy until he's old enough and and responsible enough to have a baby. Because that thing is reversible, you know. So men, you should be also careful yourselves and protect your soldiers, you know, and don't spray them everywhere. Because I honestly don't even feel sorry for the guys that do have a baby with some deadbeat woman that wanted to hook him. Well, condoms. And the US cousin via UK law. Yeah, well, I don't know about UK so much because America doesn't even like UK and Americans don't like anybody. It's something I will never I will never overlooked. I will go to relation. No, never will go to relationship with. I will never go to relationship with STD tested. Makes sense. Makes total sense. Natural diamonds are the most overpriced gems on this. Yeah, diamonds aren't remotely rare. That's my point. That's exactly my point. They're not even that rare. I don't know why people just make such a big deal out of diamonds. Like, I always think about, if I imagine myself having a big ring, right? Just for shits and giggles. And I go somewhere and somebody sees a big ring on me, hits me over the head, steals it, and then what? And then if you want to get reimbursed, you gotta get an insurance for the ring. It's just stupid. This whole concept is just stupid. I'm telling you, Ukrainian women don't care for this. I'm sure. I'm not saying all Ukrainian women are like me. Obviously, that's not the case. But most Ukrainian women, especially the ones that we have here on Match Guarantee slash matchguarantee.com/register, check them out. Um, our ladies are vetted and they just want a good husband who appreciates them. Uh, Definitely, all the ladies want to get married, and plenty of them. And if the one doesn't work out, there's another one. And I'm telling you, also, guys, I know a lot of men coming in sometimes thinking, oh, because I'm from US and I live here, then I should join the match guarantee. And all of a sudden, every woman is just gonna be like, oh my God, hey, pick me. No, the one thing about our ladies, if they don't like you, they'll tell you. No, I don't think so. They really want to build a relationship, have feelings, and have a healthy, happy life with you. But if you're not the right mate, they're not gonna just jump on the opportunity to move to the US. Nowadays, even with the war going on, women don't want to move because they have their own life there, and you have to be exceptional for her to change her mind. So don't think that I'm going to join and then all of a sudden I'm going to have like 20, 30 women just wanting to just jump on the train, well, on the plane, I guess, and um come and move. Because I moved here and I was 18 years old, 2 months shy of being 18, and I was still a kid, well, young lady. But it was not easy. It was not easy to transition. I had all my family back home. I had my friends. I had everything I knew, and just to pick up and leave, it's not easy. And start all over where you don't speak the language. You don't know anybody. Like it was quite a shock, especially culture wise. It to this day. I'm still kind of. I shouldn't be shocked. I shouldn't be surprised, but can help it. Can help the fact that people just surprise me with their BS. It's like, what? Okay, so let's see. Not okay. Ukrainian women are like an oasis in the desert when compared to modern Western women. I agree with you. Again, modern Western women. I'm pretty sure there are, but I'm not 100% sure how many Ukrainian women that are, modern. I really doubt it because Ukraine as a country is very little and we are very tight as a nation, and our mindset is that way. And I had somebody asking me on a different podcast a couple of weeks ago what's the difference between the Russian ladies and Ukrainian ladies. The Russian ladies, especially coming from like big cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, um, there are a lot of gold diggers there because the city is very big. So there's a lot of tourism going on. So they see all these different people and everything is so expensive. So that's just the mindset. You gotta pay like a lot of I can't say the prices. What are they in Moscow? Never been. Don't really plan on either. So but it's expensive, so of course, my suggestion always find yourself a woman that comes from a smaller city, even in Ukraine. But at the same time, like I said, Ukrainian women definitely have a different mindset than Russian women. Not completely different, because we're still kind of we're the same. We even speak the same language, mostly because back in the day when USSR was in power, everybody had to speak Russian. So, um, but the fact that Russians don't speak Ukrainian, but Ukrainians speak Russian. So, anyway, but yeah. So choosing the pioneer woman because listen is choosing your life partner is it's the most important thing that you're gonna do in your lifetime, because like I mentioned before, she can either make you or break you. And judging from what I usually mostly see here in the West, they usually break you, and then you're broke. It's not just broken, you're broke as well. Not funny, but it's kind of sad, to be honest with you. But you guys also, um it's time to move on, to be honest with you, because yeah, passport bros, get your passport. And I also watched this video not long ago. Women, they have these single events, and men just don't even show up anymore. They didn't even show up. Like 90 women showed up and not even one man showed up for like what that speed dating or whatever the heck it's called. I really have no idea. So it's getting bad out there. And what I just don't understand, because men are such easy creatures to please. You really don't need much to please the man. Make him a sandwich, or better yet, something from scratch. Make sure his belly's full, make sure his balls are empty. I mentioned that before. And give him peace, especially if the man works a hard job, stressful job. He comes home, he really doesn't need the woman, me, in his ear. Oh, you didn't take out the garbage, or you didn't do this, you didn't do that. There's always a nice approach to everything. You can either yell at him and give him grief and, why you didn't do this, or you can be nice about it and say, honey, I know you're tired right now, but when you're feeling better, if that's his responsibility. Like, but sometimes just, suck it up, do it yourself. Why do you need to have this authority over, like, that's what I see here in the West, women trying to have authority over a man. A man cannot be a leader and also a follower at the same time. In you, in our society and back home in Ukraine, the man is the leader. So you can't just be bossing a leader around. You don't see that in uh, nature and animal kingdom. So man is an automatic leader. But then again, here, what's going on here? Women are masculine, men are feminine, and it's all backwards. Mm, a lot of men just become simps, and they're like, well, that's the only way I can get a woman, because just being a simp. No, a high quality woman will never be with a simp, because leaders, they have boundaries, and that's number one thing that men know. Real leaders, they know their worth. You don't have to be the best looking one, you don't have to make millions of dollars, you just have to have the mindset of a leader. And the a smart traditional woman will follow if she knows you have a good heart, you have a good head on your shoulders, and you have the best, your best and your wife's interest, best interest in yours, that she will follow you to the end of the world and then some, believe me. So, and what I know, if Sims never, they never succeed really. They might have a good looking girlfriend for a while the money lasts, whatnot, or she gets enough money out of him. She will move on. She will move on to this alpha dude if she finds one that will put up with her BS. But alpha men that have self-respect, self-love, they won't settle down with a gold digger or this trophy wife. Those men, even though they might act like they're alphas, but they're fake alphas. The real true alpha men, they just have the mindset, they know what's the best for their family, and that's all they concentrate on. They don't concentrate on showing off in front of others. Oh, look at my car, look at this one, oh, look. No, they don't do that. They have a good thing at home, good wife, respectful children. That's all they concentrate on. They don't need to show off, like, you know, measuring, you know, who's got bigger balls or whatever it is, right? So, and that's the kind of men that Ukrainian women are attracted to. You don't, we don't want our man to go show off. Oh, look at my Mercedes, or look at this, or look at my ring. No, because high quality is this and this, right? Now, it's not how much money you make. I know so many people that have lots of money, but they are trash in life. They're just trash, complete and utter trash. Money doesn't make you high quality. It helps out, of course, in life, yes, because you can afford better things. You can afford to go on vacations. You can afford to buy better quality groceries, clothes, shoes, this, that. Right. Yes. But is it really what matters in life? Like I keep saying to people, the most important thing in life is your health. No matter what, without health, you can have all the money in the world and you can't enjoy it. Can't enjoy it if you're sick. If you have to go to do dialysis every freaking day, you can't enjoy it. Okay, you can be driven there in a Lamborghini or whatever, or a Bentley or Rolls Royce, but then you go and you spend 3 hours in the hospital a day doing dialysis. So, you know, and that's the one thing about Ukrainian women. We're healthy. We take care of ourselves. We eat healthy food. We make sure that our men eat healthy food, our children eat healthy. That's why we don't even age as bad as bad as the Western women. They start doing this Botox crap when they're 20, in their 20s. Weird, weird. So anyway, let me see what else. What else? No, da da da. Yes, okay. Ukrainian women. Okay. Women are like, oh yeah, that's right. I already seen this one. Sorry. Okay. Seems like Ukrainian women are more practical, have a down to earth mentality, and does not. Yeah. Well, what's the point of being a diva? Another thing, diva. Uh, okay. What? Why? Why? Like I said, we we are realists. We have one life to live, and what we have our priorities straight, which is health, happiness. Again, happiness comes from within. Okay, nobody can make you happy. They can make you happier. Okay, once you meet the right person and you can share your life with, that you guys can talk and have a good conversation. You don't have to do anything extravagant just to have a good time together. And those are the moments that people should cherish. It's not like, oh my god, look at this, he bought me a bag which is like $2,500. I'd rather have a good meal at home that I cook with my man and play Scrabble. There's no purse out there that can make me happier than just to have a good meal and just relax, have some laughs, and watch a good movie, something inspirational or even sad or happy. It doesn't matter. It's the memories that count. You can't take your possessions into the next realm. You can't even take it to the, okay, you can take it to the grave, and then the next thing you know, somebody's gonna dig it up and steal it. Like, people that are hung up on like, possessions, they're never gonna be happy, because that's all they chase. She wants new wig, or he needs, no, my nails need to be longer. You can't even wipe your freaking butt with those nails that did, like, anyway. My personal opinion, you guys, I don't know, like, in the West here is kind of too many women. They think they're the prize. Exactly, they think they're the prize. I show up to a date, you owe me. Why? Why? And like I said, if the woman's too pretty, and she thinks she's pretty, because most of them, I've seen them without makeup, okay, and let me tell you, mm-mm. And they put all their eggs in one basket. Oh, I'm this beautiful, blah blah blah. Said that before. One in accident, you can get burnt. You can get in a car accident. You you paralyzed, or your face is disfigured, and then what? Then what? I actually saw this one. I read about this story. I think somewhere in New Zealand or maybe Australia. This guy, this good-looking couple. They were engaged or dating or whatever. And he's a good-looking dude, and she was a good-looking lady. Both educated, both. I think they were still in the university when that happened. She got in a very bad car accident. She burnt, like, I guess the car got on fire, so she burnt, and like she burned bad, like super duper bad, like really bad. Like she didn't look anything like, she barely resembled a human being after what happened to her. And he still married her. I'm telling you, like, she looked scary, okay? And of course, it was just right after, after some time, because it happened many years ago. He still married her. um Now they have two children together. Of course, like, she's doing skin grafts, and then, so slowly, but she does not look anything like she used to look before. Absolutely nothing like that. And some people asked him, like, why did you marry her? Like, I mean, look at her, right? He's like, I didn't marry her for her looks, I married her for her heart, because she makes me happy, she loves me, I love her. That's what matters in the end, because we all get old, raggedy, and in the end, what, you think you're gonna look always hot? thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna shoot Botox in my face and I'm always gonna look like, like 20 years old. Look at Madonna. Like, I mean, look at her freaking face. She's in her 60s and she's still thinking like she's what, in her 20s or whatnot. And she looks crazy, like scary, scary. Like, just ladies, give it up with the plastic surgeries, please. Just learn to, age gracefully. We all age. Give it up because you don't look good when you put too much stuff in your face. But whatever, better for me and Ukrainian ladies like me. That, oh, yeah, okay. It seems like Ukrainian women are more practical. Oh yeah, I already read this. Anyway, you guys, I'm just gonna read this. Western women, especially U.S., UK, Canada, Australia, have a fraudulent narrative that they've been oppressed similar to worse than slaves in the U.S. Those beliefs rationalize their bad attitude behavior. Yeah, right. You know what? They don't know what oppressed means. Send them to Middle East. Let's see how they like that, where women have no rights. God forbid you show your hair. It's like, and you go to US, they show everything, absolutely everything. Like, what was it, Grammys or some kind of award, whatever it was, a few months ago, and Kanye West showed up with his wife, and she went on naked, like naked. I was like, what? Like, okay. When you run out of imagination, like, that's just okay. Then what? What's next? Then she's gonna skin herself next. I mean, unbelievable. I've been to Miami and I've seen what women wear there. Yeah, it's like, really? I understand one thing, you go on the beach, fine, who cares? It's the beach. Because I come from Ukraine, I've been to Europe, I've seen beaches there, women walk around topless. It's fine. But when you go out, like in public, on the streets, in the streets, like where there's just kids running, like I said, beach is one thing, but when you wear a see-through dress with like a thong on and like you can really see everything else, kind of like, okay, but why? But then anyway, Madonna become addicted to cosmetic surgery. She even got BBL. Yeah, I know. I've seen. Just kind of. It's weird. It's weird. This plastic thing, plastic surgery. I guess Korea would be number one for plastic surgery on faces. And the only reason why, because it's a lot cheaper. So a lot of women travel to South Korea to get plastic surgeries on their face, and that's the only reason why it's number one. And then Brazil is mostly BBL and that kind of stuff, like body modification. So Brazil is number one for body. But then women go in US, they want to save a buck, they go to Mexico and they get cement injected into their ass. It's like, uh, anyway, you know what? Go do it to your own body. That's fine. More men for us Ukrainian ladies. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today again. I really appreciate your time and somewhat communication. uh, anyway, you guys, thank you so much. And let me just play the last video as I usually do and get rid of this. Again, come back. Oh, today is my grandma's birthday, so I'm going to be calling her, video chatting with her. And come back next week, Saturday. I'm always here at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And come back tomorrow to see Irina. And again, thank you so much for being here. And I will always have such a hard time finding that. Where is it? Why is this? Why is this always You know what, guys? Where is Ukraine? Welcome to. Okay, there we go. I'll play this one. Thank you again. A lot of love and have a good one, you guys.
This channel is designed to help you with this colossal decision that you are entertaining, looking at, which is, hey, I know you're done with dating in the West. Let's not even go there. Old story. But the question you're asking yourself is, are pastures possibly greener elsewhere on this beautiful planet of ours? Yes, the answer is yes. How do I know? I was in your very shoes, just a number of years ago. Now I'm happily married to my soulmate, my best friend, and we have 2 beautiful daughters, and life couldn't be better. But you gotta play your cards right, as anything in life. There's a few paths to success, and the rest of them are paths to failure. So to join for 30 days and do unlimited video dating for free, all you do is fill out the form in the description below this video, and Bob's your uncle. You can date them, traditional women, for 30 days on video right here, completely free, no obligation, no credit card, no nothing. The other thing that you really want to check out is, if you're wondering, how do women rate you? First, Western women. What's your SMV, your sexual market value score? Your score from 1 to 10. How do Slavic women, traditional women, rate you? Is it any different? Here's a tip. Most guys get between a 1 to 3 point bump in their score from Western to Slavic. Why? Because they're traditional values. Now, the caveat here is if you're a serious guy, right? You're looking for love and marriage. If you're looking at playing the field, well, no, your SMV will go down. Then you can calculate your probability of marriage with a Slavic woman. And finally, you can calculate your maximum realistic, keyword, realistic age gap with a Slavic woman. All of those are on my calculator, yoursmv.com. Thanks very much. Please